Watch this video today to see an accurate three-step pricing strategy that's going to allow you to get paid what you deserve to pay and what you need to get paid, and also to make sure that you're making the income that you deserve. Now, there's a lot of pricing strategy information out there, and I'm here to tell you that 90% of it isn't either complete or is totally inaccurate. You're going to have people to say, charge what your competition charges. That's not true. You may not have the same expenses. You're going to hear double your price, triple your price. That's not accurate. That could be a disservice to your clients, but it could also be a disservice to you and your business because it's just guessing. Most of the pricing strategies you see out there are guesswork. Today, I'm going to share with you 3 simple ways to get started in making accurate pricing that covers everything that needs to be covered and pays you what you deserve to be paid. Number one, you need to have all your expenses. There's two types of expenses. There's variable, which mean infrequent, occasional. It's a different price every time you use it. That's a variable expense. And you have fixed expenses or fixed cost. Those are the same price every single time. It's a monthly charge, it's a yearly charge, it's a whenever I use it charge, but it's the same amount every single time. An example of variable would be gas prices. Today, gas is whatever it is, and next week it could be 10 cents more, 20 cents less, the same price. It's always variable. Fixed cost means I know I'm going to pay this amount of money every time I go to the doctor for a copay or whatever it is. That's a quick example. So number one, you got to cover all your expenses. So if you don't have them written down, send me a message down below and I'll send you a free form to get you started. It lists all the expenses that you could possibly have, and then it leaves you room for the rest. You need to make sure you know what your expenses are. Before we get into 2 and 3, make sure that you subscribe to this video, you like this video, and I'll make sure to send more videos like this with tips for your success so that you can grow a business that doesn't have to work with you doing everything, that adds a profit at the end of it, and that you can take time off and still get paid. Now back to this, step 2 in pricing is once you have all your expenses covered, what do you want to get paid, right? The biggest, most important thing. What is it that you would like to get paid? Make sure that you're charging for that amount by the number of sales that you do per month. So if I'm making $10,000 and I have 10 sales a month, I have to cover all my expenses and add $1,000 per sale. If not, I'm not going to get paid the 10 grand. But if you stop there, you're still not going to get paid the 10 grand. And here's why. Number 3 is you need to cover the tax burden that your income is going to be charged. If you're making an income, which you should, and I strongly suggest that you factor that into your pricing, you're going to be paying taxes on it. And so if you say you make 10,000, but your tax burden is 28%, and you're not factoring that into your price, then you're not making 10,000, you're making 7,200. So make sure that you're covering all your expenses, that you have your income factored in, and you know what your tax burden is so you can add all together into your pricing. When you have a proper pricing strategy, you cover all these things, and then at the end, you add a profit on top of it. There's a formulaic way to price. The way that you're being told by most of these people, and some of them are really, really high level influencers that we follow, and they write books and everything, and they're telling you the wrong way to price. Part of it is they're so advanced for so long, they kind of forget what it's like on the way up. And the right way to price is you got to cover all your expenses. You got to pay yourself what you deserve, and you have to factor that into your prices. You have to cover your tax burden, and you have to add a profit at the end of it. And like I said, there's a formulaic way that this can happen where your pricing isn't guesswork. You'll know exactly how much you need to charge and how many people you need to work with. That's your sweet spot, and everybody has it. If we exceed the sweet spot, hallelujah, man, we make a lot more money. But if we don't, which is the case that I find with the majority of people that I work with, they're not pricing right, they're barely making it, or they're not factoring in their tax burdens, and at the end of a year, they have this big bill that they have to pay and they don't have the money to pay for it. Don't get stuck in that rut. Figure out what it is, how much your expenses are. Make sure you're covering all your expenses. So many of you don't cover your cell phone, your internet, because I work from home. No, that should be a business expense. As soon as you start a business, that should become an expense for your business because that's why the laws were written to write down expense so that it takes it off the top of your income. But if you went out to a building and you rented the building, you would pay for rent. You would pay for utilities. You would pay for your internet. If you needed cell phones for your team, you would buy them cell phones. Or if you needed a phone system, you'd have to buy that. So make sure that you're charging for all the expenses you have, even if you work from home or you're virtual or you're what do they call it when you're traveling all over the country or world and you're working remotely. So all of these are expenses and the laws are written so you can take advantage of them, but you got to know what you're doing and it starts with pricing properly so that you can make the money you deserve. You can cover all the expenses that you incur. You can cover the tax burden. So if you say you make 10 grand, you make 10 grand. And there's a profit at the end because in the end of it, your business should be paying for most of the expenses once you get established. Follow these 3 steps in your pricing. I guarantee you that you'll be on the road to success. Thank you.